Let's dive right into one of the moves that has already caused a ripple through New England and among Patriots fans everywhere. The team made a decision that caught a lot of people off guard. A starter from last season has already been cut. Not just any player, but someone who started more than 10 games for the team in the previous year. Ledden Robinson, the Patriots' fourth-round pick from the 2024 draft, is now off the active roster and has been given the waived/injured designation. This move is significant not only because of what it says about Robinson as a player, but also because of what it indicates about the direction this team is heading under the new leadership of Mike Vrabel and the management team. Robinson split his starts between the right and left sides of the offensive line, making 6 appearances on the right and 5 on the left, which shows his versatility. Yet the coaching staff seems to have decided that his skill set doesn't fit the current offensive strategy as well as they had hoped. It's worth noting that Robinson starting 11 games as a rookie in the NFL is no small feat. That's an achievement many players never reach. Yet the tape from last season tells a more nuanced story. While he had moments of promise, there were also noticeable struggles that may have influenced the team's decision. Despite the disappointment, this isn't the final nail in his NFL journey just yet. With a waived/injured designation, there is a strong possibility that Robinson could revert to the Patriots' injured reserve list, giving him a chance to recover fully and potentially work his way back into the rotation next season. It's a reminder of how unpredictable roster management can be in the league, especially under a new regime where expectations and schemes are still being solidified. The context of this move extends beyond just Robinson. The 2024 draft class for the Patriots is seeing a significant shakeup, and this cut highlights just how much change is happening behind the scenes. Drake May, who was drafted last year, now appears to be the only player from that class with a strong likelihood of remaining on the 2025 roster. Meanwhile, second-round pick Jalen Polk is expected to go on injured reserve due to a shoulder injury, though that has not been officially confirmed. If this scenario plays out as anticipated, it leaves the Patriots with a draft class from the previous year that is essentially decimated, with most of the players either cut or sidelined. This kind of turnover can have long-lasting effects, especially for a franchise that relies on consistency and depth to maintain competitiveness. Looking further into the roster, other draft picks have already faced setbacks. 6th-round pick Marcellus Dial is on injured reserve, while another 6th-round selection, Joel Milton, was traded to the Cowboys. 7th-round pick John Bell was waived last week, and the remaining rookie linemen, like Caden Wallace, are on the bubble, serving primarily as depth pieces rather than immediate contributors. For Wallace and others in his position, the window to prove themselves is narrowing rapidly, especially in a system that demands readiness from both starters and reserves. Depth matters in football, and without it, even small injuries or lapses can spiral into major challenges over the course of the season. What's particularly telling about this wave of roster moves is the influence of the new leadership structure. Mike Vrabel now has a more prominent voice in decision-making, and Elliott Wolf, though officially the general manager, appears to have shared authority rather than unilateral control in prior seasons. The adjustments to the roster reflect a philosophy that is focused on fit, versatility, and immediate performance. Players who may have shown potential in the past are now being evaluated under a stricter lens, and the consequences of not meeting these expectations are becoming very visible. Transitioning from the offensive line, another storyline that's capturing attention is the emergence of Ashton Jenney with the Las Vegas Raiders. Jenney, the top pick for the Raiders, is set to make his NFL debut, and there's a lot of buzz about how he will perform against the Patriots' defensive front. While his preseason performance was underwhelming in terms of statistics, he is still expected to be the primary workhorse back for Las Vegas. The Patriots, on the other hand, are not an easy matchup. With Milton Williams anchored on the defensive line, Christian Barmore returning, and additions like Harold Landry and Kayvon Chasen, the front seven presents a formidable challenge. Behind them, Robert Spillane paired with Christian Ellis adds strength to the second level. The matchup between Jenney and New England will be fascinating to watch, as it pits a rookie expected to make an immediate impact against a defense that is both talented and disciplined. Looking at Jenney's preseason stats, there is reason for cautious optimism from the Patriots' perspective. Across 3 preseason games, he totaled just 37 rushing yards on 12 attempts. While he did find the end zone once, his average of just over 3 yards per carry suggests that he is not yet the dominant, game-breaking force many anticipated when he was drafted. Comparisons can be drawn to other young backs who took time to find their rhythm in the NFL. For example, Jan Robinson, now a top fantasy pick, didn't explode immediately in his first season, but gradually developed into the star everyone expected. Jenny will likely follow a similar developmental curve, especially as he splits carries with other backs like Rondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson. The Patriots' defensive game plan will aim to contain him, and while he has the potential to shine, the early matchups may be more of a test than a showcase. The broader context of these roster moves and rookie performances brings us back to the larger narrative of depth and sustainability. One insider report noted that while the Patriots are improving and playing hard, they remain thin in multiple spots beyond the starting lineup. This is a critical point because, in a league where injuries are inevitable, the depth behind starters often determines whether a team can sustain a successful campaign. Drake May's emergence as a central figure highlights this perfectly. He is essentially carrying the hopes of the previous draft class, and much of the team's early season success may depend on how well he can perform and how much support he receives from the rest of the roster. The Patriots' challenges are not limited to rookies or the offensive line. Across the board, positions like tight end, edge, and linebacker show promising starters but limited depth. For instance, while Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper provide strength at tight end, there isn't significant backup behind them. Edge rushers like Harold Landry and Glavin Chasen are solid starters, but the supporting rotation may be too thin to maintain pressure in a long, grueling season. Linebackers like Splain and Ellis are key contributors, but injuries could quickly expose gaps. These vulnerabilities mean that every game, every snap, and every decision on the field carries more weight than in teams with deeper rosters. The Patriots may have made strategic moves in free agency and the draft, but years of underwhelming drafts and missed opportunities still cast a shadow over the team's ability to sustain success at the highest level. Now, moving beyond the early roster moves and rookie developments, it is impossible to ignore the bigger picture for the New England Patriots. The team is in a transition period, and with every cut, trade, or injury designation, the story becomes more about survival and adaptation than about flash or immediate dominance. One of the central narratives heading into the season is the pressure on the coaching staff and front office to extract maximum value from a roster that is undeniably thin in key positions. Depth, as many analysts will tell you, is everything in the NFL, and the Patriots' current roster reveals cracks that could be exposed very quickly if injuries pile up or if certain young players fail to meet expectations. Drake May has become the linchpin of this entire operation. His performance is no longer just about him. It is about masking gaps, creating opportunities, and providing a foundation upon which the team can build in both the short and long term. The weight of expectation on a single rookie is enormous. And while fans are excited about the potential, it also means that mistakes or underwhelming performances will be scrutinized more than usual. It is not just about talent. It is about resilience, football IQ, and the ability to perform under pressure. For a team like the Patriots, with a history of sustained excellence, this is a delicate balancing act. Historically, New England has relied on a combination of solid drafting, strategic free agency, and elite coaching to maintain its standard. Now, under the new regime of Mike Vrabel and Elliott Wolf, the formula is being tested in real time, with less room for error than ever before. The offensive line, which has been a talking point all offseason, remains both a source of hope and concern. While the starters are talented and the unit has been improved through acquisitions and internal development, there is a noticeable lack of depth behind them. Injuries on the offensive line can quickly derail a team's season, and the Patriots cannot afford to see even a minor cascade of setbacks in this group. This makes the performance of players like Caden Wallace and other developmental linemen critical, even if they are primarily depth pieces. If the starters are forced to play every down without adequate rest or rotation, fatigue and mistakes are inevitable, and this could have a domino effect across the offense. Looking at the skill positions, there's also a blend of optimism and caution. The receiving core has talent, but it is relatively young and unproven in certain areas. Brock Bowers, now emerging as a top tight end, is expected to shoulder a significant portion of the offensive load, but beyond him, the team needs contributions from rookies and younger players like Deontay Thompson and Jack Beck. These players have potential, but the transition from college to the NFL is rarely seamless. Defenses in the league are fast, physical, and strategic, and even highly touted rookies often take time to adjust to the speed and complexity of professional schemes. For the Patriots, these growing pains will be magnified by the lack of veteran depth in some positions, putting additional pressure on the coaching staff to manage snaps and matchups carefully. Defensively, the Patriots are similarly in a period of flux. The front seven is imposing on paper, with Harold Landry and Glavin Chasen anchoring the edge and a talented interior line in Milton Williams and Christian Barmore. Robert Spillane and Christian Ellis provide solidity at linebacker, but injuries or underperformance in this group could expose vulnerabilities in coverage and run defense. New England has traditionally prided itself on disciplined, well-coordinated defensive schemes, and this year will be a test of whether the new roster can maintain that identity under real game conditions. The margin for error is slim, and even small lapses could be magnified over the course of the season, especially against high-powered offenses in the AFC East and beyond. Special teams, often overlooked, could also play a critical role in the Patriots campaign. Field position, punting efficiency, and return coverage are all areas where games can be won or lost. In a season where depth is a concern and the roster is still finding its rhythm, special teams performance could serve as both a stabilizer and a differentiator. Any advantage gained here may compensate for other areas where the team is thin, and conversely, mistakes could compound the challenges already facing the roster. Coaches and analysts alike will be watching these matchups closely in the first few weeks to gauge both readiness and adaptability. Beyond the XS and OS, there's also the mental and cultural aspect of the team to consider. A franchise like the Patriots has a deeply ingrained culture of accountability, discipline, and competitive toughness. New leadership often brings subtle shifts in culture, whether through changes in practice routines, communication styles, or strategic philosophies. Players who thrived under one regime may need time to adjust to the expectations and methodologies of Vrabel and Wolf. Conversely, younger players may find the structure liberating, giving them the confidence to perform at a higher level. Balancing these dynamics is a challenge that cannot be underestimated, particularly when early season performance can set the tone for the months ahead. The narrative of the Patriots draft class is also emblematic of larger organizational trends. Over the past several years, missed opportunities in the draft have created gaps in depth and talent pipelines. This has placed additional pressure on free agency acquisitions and rookie contributions. A team with strong drafting success typically benefits from a steady infusion of talent capable of rotating in and maintaining performance levels. In the absence of that, as is the case here, the margin for error shrinks, and each player's performance becomes disproportionately important. Drake May's development, therefore, is not just a storyline. It is a central pillar supporting the team's ability to compete in a league where attrition and injuries are constant threats. Fans and analysts alike will be watching closely, dissecting every decision and performance. The early season matchups will set the tone, reveal weaknesses, and test the resilience of both the roster and the coaching philosophy. The Patriots' challenge is clear. Can a team with limited depth and a mix of young and inexperienced players perform at a high level consistently, compete in close games, and push for a playoff spot in a highly competitive conference? Every move, from roster cuts to game day rotations, will be pivotal in answering that question. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers have been circulating in locker rooms and executive suites across the NFL for weeks, but the shockwaves only fully hit fans when Jordan Love, the young and highly touted quarterback from the Green Bay Packers, reportedly reached an agreement with the New England Patriots. Sources suggest that the discussions were long, tense, and filled with strategic maneuvering, as both franchises attempted to navigate the delicate balance of talent, contracts, and long-term plans. The Packers, who had invested heavily in Love as a potential franchise quarterback for years, appear to have made a calculated decision, possibly driven by cap considerations or internal evaluations of his readiness to lead the team consistently. Meanwhile, the Patriots, always meticulous in their approach to roster building, reportedly saw this as an opportunity to acquire a quarterback with tremendous potential, someone who could immediately impact their offensive schemes and provide a long-term answer at a position that has been under scrutiny in recent seasons. Speculation about the exact terms of the deal has only fueled the frenzy, with insiders hinting at a combination of guaranteed money, performance incentives, and draft considerations that would make this one of the most talked-about moves in the league in recent memory. Social media has exploded with reactions ranging from disbelief to excitement, further amplifying the sense that the NFL landscape might be on the verge of a significant realignment. The impact of Jordan Love joining the Patriots extends far beyond the immediate implications for Green Bay or New England. Analysts are already debating how this move might influence the balance of power in the AFC, with some suggesting that the Patriots, historically dominant under Bill Belichick, may have found a missing piece to reassert their dominance. Critics, however, question whether Love, despite his physical talent and flashes of brilliance during limited playing time, has the maturity and experience to thrive in a system as complex and demanding as New England's. The chatter in sports media outlets and among fans has been relentless, as pundits dissect every possible angle. The offensive schemes that could maximize Love's arm strength, the supporting cast of receivers and tight ends, and the ways in which Belichick might adapt to extract the best from a quarterback who is still in the early stages of his career. Meanwhile, rival teams in the AFC East, such as the Bills and the Dolphins, are reportedly reevaluating their own plans, as the presence of a promising quarterback like Love could alter draft strategies, free agent acquisitions, and overall competitive approaches. Even casual fans are drawn into the speculation, debating endlessly in online forums about whether Love will instantly elevate the Patriots or face growing pains that could define the next several seasons. The rumor mill continues to churn, fueled by both the allure of a high-profile acquisition and the natural tension that comes with the uncertainty of professional sports. From a historical perspective, this potential move is reminiscent of other seismic NFL transactions where a single player fundamentally altered the trajectory of a franchise. Observers are drawing parallels between Love's situation and past instances in which young quarterbacks, once considered underutilized or overlooked, suddenly found themselves in a system that allowed them to flourish. The Patriots, known for their disciplined approach and strategic acumen, might provide the environment that Love needs to unlock his full potential, much like other star quarterbacks who have benefited from a structured and detail-oriented coaching philosophy. Conversely, critics are quick to point out the inherent risks in such a high-profile switch, noting that transitioning to a new team, especially one with high expectations and intense media scrutiny, can place immense pressure on even the most talented players. Rumors of locker room dynamics, leadership challenges, and the adjustment period required to grasp a new playbook have only added layers to the ongoing speculation. Meanwhile, journalists and insiders continue to leak tantalizing hints, fueling endless cycles of analysis and debate. Every practice, every meeting, and every reported conversation is dissected for clues, as fans and analysts alike try to predict whether this acquisition will be a stroke of genius or a cautionary tale. The narrative is rapidly evolving, but one certainty remains. The NFL community is captivated, and the impact of Jordan Love's rumored move is a story that will dominate headlines for weeks, if not months. The financial implications of Jordan Love signing with the Patriots are another layer feeding the rumor frenzy, with sources suggesting that the deal could involve a complex structure designed to balance risk and reward for both parties. Cap space, signing bonuses, roster flexibility, and incentive clauses are all reportedly part of the equation, prompting analysts to speculate on how the Patriots plan to manage their resources while remaining competitive. Some experts argue that this move represents a strategic gamble, an attempt to secure a potential franchise quarterback at a cost that aligns with long-term organizational goals, while others view it as a bold statement of intent in a league where quarterback talent is the most coveted commodity. Meanwhile, in Green Bay, the decision to part ways with Love has generated its own set of rumors, ranging from internal disagreements about his development to broader philosophical shifts within the team's front office. Fans have flooded social media with reactions ranging from outrage to reluctant acceptance, with hashtags trending around speculation, mock trades, and future draft strategies. As the NFL rumor mill thrives, sports radio shows, podcasts, and online discussion boards are inundated with theories about how this deal could reshape not only the Patriots and Packers, but also the entire AFC and NFL playoff picture. Every angle is analyzed with painstaking detail, from coaching philosophy to roster depth to statistical projections, creating a swirling vortex of conjecture that only heightens the sense of urgency and excitement surrounding this unprecedented move. The story has become a cultural phenomenon within the football world, captivating fans and insiders alike with its potential to redefine legacies and shift power dynamics across the league. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.